world of handmade business can be tough when trying to monetize what you love. We've got truth bombs and motivation to help you find your way through. Passion to profit, let's start today, 'cause the world needs what you create. Tune in right now, it's your shot to learn how to be a handmade boss.
Hello everyone and welcome back to the How to Be a Handmade Bosses podcast. So today we're going to be talking about what is SEO and how to get it right. Now, before we get into this, there are two episodes that I really want you guys to go and listen/watch to now. The first one is episode 1, and it's like a massive episode talking about the beginner's guide to the Etsy algorithm, if Etsy is your thing. And episode number 5, which talks about how to get your products ranking in the search results, again on Etsy. But today I really wanted to talk about what happens when you get SEO right, why we want to get it right, a little bit on how to get it right, and talking a little bit more about, okay, we are doing all the stuff when it comes to SEO. We're doing keyword research, we're doing all this kind of stuff, but what are we actually doing it for? So SEO stands for search engine optimization. And basically it is utilizing search traffic from different places. So for example, if you sell on Etsy, it's looking at how you can navigate through your shop, your listings, and present them in a way that pleases the algorithmic gods and sends search traffic your way. Because after all, Etsy is a big old search engine, okay? And the same with your own website, the same with Google, okay? We know that there are thousands, perhaps millions of people every single day that are going to Etsy or Google and searching for the thing that you sell. So the whole idea is that we basically want to make sure that we are connecting the two, a bit like a matchmaker. We have the perfect product and then we have the perfect customer, and SEO is just one element of how we're going to connect those two. So the reason why we want to get SEO right and the reason why it matters, number one, you are looking at obviously getting more traffic to your website, to your Etsy shop, Amazon, wherever, okay? So the number one reason why you need to get SEO right is so you are actually getting people to the various sites, again, whether that be Etsy, whether that be your own website, wherever, right? So that is the biggest benefit to it, is that you're getting search traffic. And the great thing about search traffic, rather than marketing yourself on social media, and by the way, I do suggest that you have both running. So I always say that it should be a two-pronged approach. You should be driving your own traffic and utilizing search traffic. But the great thing about search traffic is that there is an intent behind the search. I'm going to be talking a little bit more about user intent later, but there is an intent behind the search. Someone is going to that search bar to type in a specific thing for a specific reason. And if you sell that product / you have the solution / you answer that question, whatever, that is traffic that is going to be worth a lot more to you as someone who is selling a product or are a business versus people who are just kind of scrolling on social media, not really in the mood to buy anything. The second great benefit is that it boosts brand awareness. Okay, so obviously the more people that are seeing you, it used to be, the saying went that people have to see you 7 times before they kind of twig that they are seeing you and they become interested. That, in my opinion, is more like 10 to 12 times now. So every single time they are seeing you, whether it's results in a page or whether it is just seeing you on social media, you are boosting your brand awareness because they will start to see you everywhere. Okay. Now, not a very well talked about kind of side note, which is number 3, is that it improves the experience of your users. Because like I said, people are going to that search bar to search for something very specific. And if SEO on your site, on your Etsy shop, on your listings, on your products, whatever, even on your content, blog posts, social media, let's be honest, guys, everything these days is a search engine. So if your whatever isn't optimized in the right way, what's going to happen is that the algorithm may be getting a bit confused and start to kind of put things at the top of the search results that really shouldn't be there, because in the user's mind, they're searching for something and they're getting the wrong thing back. So it just kind of really helps to make the user experience a lot better. A side note here as well is that SEO is not just keywords. It actually does look into how a user goes onto your listings, how they interact with them, and things like mobile responsiveness, things like site load speed, things like how your navigation is laid out on your website. Now, a lot of this is out of your hands when it comes to Etsy. They kind of take care of it. But certainly if you have your own website, there's all of these things to consider. And if, for example, you have a website that you have built yourself, it's really important to go through it as if you are someone who is looking to buy something, because my God, I cannot tell you the amount of times that I go onto a website and I come straight back off of it, aka I bounce off, because it's too confusing. There's too much going on. There's too many menus. There's too many things, too many products for sale, whatever. Whereas I feel like that's one thing that you don't really have to worry about with Etsy, because they do a really good job. But again, even looking at your categorizations, looking at your shop categories, looking at how you list your products, the description. When you are creating a listing, it's quite hard sometimes, I know, because you're in the back end of it. Etsy's just presenting you with these boxes to fill out. But before you click publish, I want you to view your listing from the eyes of a customer. So actually go into that little preview bit and actually look at it and ask yourself, is it easy to see what the product is? Is the description too long? Am I just yabbering on for the sake of it? And I'm holding my hand up here because I used to do this a lot. Is there things in there that perhaps don't belong in there? All that kind of stuff, right? Now, the other great thing with this, the next point, is that if you are optimizing your Etsy shop, website, whatever, in the best possible way, we already know that people are coming in with an intent. They are searching with a intent on getting to an end result, whatever that may be. And again, I am going to be talking about this in a bit, so do stick around. So by doing that and by optimizing your sites, listings, whatever, what you're going to do is you're ultimately going to increase your conversion rate, because remember we talked about that matchmaker where you have someone with a perfect product and you have someone who's perfect for it. You're doing a much better job at marrying those two up. Okay. And that in its very essence is a conversion rate. Okay. So the more you are optimizing your various sites, the more chances you are at having a higher conversion rate, because the right people at the right time are being shown the right product with the right message. Now, the last point with this is that when you are doing keyword research, when you are really starting to dig into your target audience and how they search, and by the way, that is the number one way to get this right, is to know your target audience. Naturally, you're going to start to think about other areas within your business where this information could be useful. And that's why when people say, it's SEO, it's too complicated, I'm just going to kind of tentatively stick my toe in, or I'm not really going to do it. It impacts every area of your business, because the information that you find out doing this whole process is paramount to other things, like, for example, social media content, relevant content, the stuff that you are putting out there to drive your own traffic. Remember, we talked about that two-prong approach. Number one, utilizing search traffic. Number two, driving your own traffic. It bleeds into that one as well, because when you are doing all of this research, you're doing the process, you are actually learning a little bit more about what your customers want to see, what questions they have, what things they need to hear before they're going to buy from you. So in its very essence, you are going to be producing more relevant content because you get to know them more. Now, I promised that I would talk to you a little bit more about search intent. So a user that is typing in something in a search bar, they're not all weighted the same. Okay. Now, obviously, this is very different for Etsy versus Google, and that will become apparent for the reason why in a minute. So there are 4 main types of search intent when it comes to the wider web. Number 1 is informational intent. So someone is going to a search engine to ask a question. And you'll see this obviously a lot on Google. You'll see it a lot on Alexa, which I'm sorry if all of your Alexas have just gone off when I said that. Sorry about that. You will see this a lot on things like Instagram as well, Pinterest, all these kinds of places. Okay. So it is someone who is going to a search bar wanting to know the answer to a question, whether it be straightforward or not. The second search intent is navigational. So this is something specific to a place they want to get to. So for example, if they are going to the Google search bar and they are typing in MailChimp, or they are typing in Facebook, or they are typing in Threads, they are doing it because they know full well that the very top result is going to be where they want to get to, right? The third search intent is transactional intent. Now, this is where Etsy and Google products really comes into its own, okay? To be honest with you, the only type of search intent on Etsy is transactional, which again, when you are waiting, should I have my own website or should I have Etsy? This is something to take into account because every single person going to Etsy is doing so with the mindset of wanting to buy something. Whereas when they are going onto Google, onto social media, wherever else they're doing a search, they might have all these other form of search intents there as well. So a transactional search is something like, I would like a pink dog lead. I would like a yellow pair of jeans. I would like a blue pair of shorts. It is something where you have an idea in your head of what you want that product and you're simply looking for a place to buy it. Okay. Now, the fourth search intent is commercial investigation, which is apparently what it is called. And this is simply looking for something that is going to be the best fit for you. So this could be best place to get school shoes. This could be best place to go for a margarita pizza. It could be anything like that. You're simply looking at, okay, I know that there are a lot of places, there are a lot of coffee shops, a lot of restaurants, a lot of hairdressers, whatever. I'm simply looking for the best one near me, or the best one while I'm away, or the best fit for that thing. Okay, so number 1, informational intent. Number 2, navigational intent. Number 3, transactional intent. And number 4 is commercial investigation. Okay, so those are the 4 different types of intents when people are looking to search for something. So with Etsy, the only one you really need to worry about is transactional. Okay, so you don't even have to worry about any of the others. However, when we are looking at Google and you have your own website, you have all of these things to think about. And I would recommend really looking at each of them and doing a keyword research strategy for each of them. Because like we know, someone who is typing in how to go to sleep at night is going to be typing in something completely different to someone who is searching for pillow spray to help me to sleep. And the way that their buyer journey is set up is it going to be different for all 4 of them. So when you are having your own website kind of mixed in there, it can be a lot more. You have to open your world up when it comes to search engine optimization a little bit more, because there are different people coming in. Whereas, like I said, Etsy is purely just a transactional intent search. People who are looking to buy the thing, type in the thing and expect to be presented with the thing that they want.
Listen up, bosses. I'm interrupting your podcast episode to tell you that the revenue boost you have been looking for in your handmade business is available to you. And not only that, I'm giving you the strategy and the know-how absolutely for free. So this means the Sellathon Challenge has officially returned. This is one of the best challenges that we have ever run. And it is our 1 week to 1K challenge. Now, we're going to show you exactly how you can reach 1K or a financial goal of your choice in just 7 days or less with our strategy and the system that we're going to show you for free. So if you need a revenue injection in your business, then this completely free challenge is for you. We get started on the 16th of September. There is 5 training lives, lots of Q&A lives, PDFs to take action, implementation days, replays, and all of the good stuff happening in the Sellathon challenge. So if you want to join, the link will be in the show notes, or just simply head to handmadebosses.com/sellathon. handmadebosses.com/sellathon. Back to the episode.
So, talking about how to get this right. This is where looking at the intents first is a really good place to start, okay? And the best place that I find if you are doing a Etsy keyword process is to actually go onto the Etsy search bar itself. I feel like it's such an underutilized tool, but the Etsy search bar, you're literally looking at what searches drop down in the search bar when you start to type. You're literally looking at what other people are looking for. Is it the most reliable, extensive tool? No, I'd actually recommend eRank for that. They do have a free plan. I personally like the $5 a month paid plan. Not sponsored, never been paid by them, do not work for them, but I think it's pretty cool. I think it's a good tool to use, okay? Now, another tool that you can use, which is completely free, again, it doesn't show you things like search volumes and all these things that you need to know, but it does give you a good starting point, is a tool called Keyword Sheeter. And yes, it is actually made to be the ruder version of that. But if you go to keyword and then Sheeter, SHEETER.com, you will find you don't need an account, anything like that. You just start typing in something, you press enter, and it will basically scan the entire web and bring back and it will take like 5 minutes. It will take a whole host of different searches, all that kind of stuff, and it will pull it all together. It's a really nice way to begin to see the different intents, because you will see all 4, how people are searching for things, what kind of questions they have, and all that kind of stuff. So the first port of call, as kind of I've just explained, is to have a generic umbrella view at how people are searching for your product, especially when it comes to Etsy. And if you have your own website, start to look at the different intents and how you can funnel different people with different intents using different ways. Because let's say you sell vegan unroasted chocolate, which I know one of my students does, you are going to be coming across different obstacles, different things that people want to know compared to people who are looking at buying a product, okay? So someone might be searching for vegan unroasted chocolate bar, or with a different intent, they actually might be looking at what's the best vegan unroasted chocolate egg for Easter, or why should I buy vegan unroasted chocolate? There are 3 different search intents in there, and you need to know why people are looking for each and every one of them. So that's my first port of call, is to do a very umbrella level of keyword research using the Etsy search bar, using the Google search bar, and using Keyword Sheeter, because that is going to be an awesome way for you to start to see the different search intents and perhaps start to link up in your mind, okay, how can I matchmake myself between someone searching this thing versus what I sell? The second layer to this is actually looking at how am I going to link that up? So I know obviously we've just spoken about search intents and the way different people and how their buyer journey, their shopper journey is going to be very different with each intent, but it's looking at that journey and looking at, okay, obviously, as we know, has a purely transactional intent. So people are going to buy something. You don't have to think too much about this, okay? All you have to do simply is say, this is a product. This is a kind of keywords that my target audience is going to be using to find this product, and not to overcomplicate it and not put too much jargon in there, which I do see still happen a lot. People will put different jargon words and different keyword phrases and stuff that don't really reflect what the user is going to be searching for. However, on your own website, on social media as well, because don't forget, if you have social media, you are basically appeasing a search engine, which means you then have to look at all four intents. So is someone going to Instagram and typing in vegan unroasted chocolate maker, or are they going in and typing in how to make vegan unroasted chocolate? And I would actually say for you guys, under this step 2 here is to go and do that yourself. Go and actually type in these things and see what Instagram comes up with, see what Pinterest comes up with, see what Facebook comes up with. And you'll see that there's multiple different reels, videos, lives, shorts, showing you all these different things. So those are the 2 steps to get this right. Now, the third step is making sure that you're putting the right things in the right places. Now, I'm not going to go all into how specifically to do SEO because I've already done episode 1, episode 5, all about that. However, what I do want you guys to do is to make sure that whatever platform's algorithm you're trying to appease, you're actually going to them and researching exactly what they want. So if it's Etsy, you need titles, descriptions, and tags. They and attributes. They are your main places where you should be focusing on the keywords. There are some other things like image alt text for visually impaired people, categories, all that kind of stuff. But just to keep it simple, let's just focus on those 4 places. Whereas where it's your own website, you have the meta tag, you have the URL slug, you have lots of different places that you need to make sure that you are doing this correctly. So those are the 3 steps. I really hope that this has helped you to kind of understand why SEO is actually important, the benefits for you, looking at intents and how important that actually is, and going through the 3 steps to actually get this right. So for now, my loves, I will catch you in the next episode of How to Be a Handmade Boss.
Thank you so much for tuning in to How to Be a Handmade Boss. And if you're eager to boost your Etsy sales within just 7 days, then be sure to join my most popular free training at handmadebosses.com/conversion. You can also find the link in the show notes as well. Keep an eye out for our next episode where we'll be continuing our journey towards handmade business success together. And until then, keep crafting and stay inspired because the world really does need those special creations that only you can make.